I still remember the sound of the tires before everything went dark, screeching, a crunch. Then silence so heavy it pressed against my chest. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed, my arm in a cast, my legs stitched and bandaged, my head throbbing. Mom was there, not holding my hand, scrolling through her phone. "You're awake," she said flatly. "Good, you've got a lot to explain." "Explain?" My voice cracked. "Mom, I got hit. I didn't—" She cut me off. "Police said you were speeding. Drunk, maybe. They found beer cans in your car." I blinked. "What? I don't drink. You know that." Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. Her eyes flicked up from the phone, cold and sharp. "Then how do you explain the pictures?" She turned her screen toward me. There they were, photos of me, blurry but recognizable, leaning against my car with a bottle in my hand. Except it wasn't me. Not exactly. Same jacket, same hairstyle, but the face was slightly off. My sister's smirk had always looked like mine if you didn't look long enough. My stomach turned. "That's not me, that's—" "Don't say it," Mom snapped. "Your sister already told me everything. She said you took her car without asking, crashed it, and now you're trying to shift the blame. Do you have any idea how embarrassed your father is?" Embarrassed. Not worried, not relieved I was alive, just embarrassed. "Where's Nora?" I asked. My voice shook, but I tried to sound calm. "At work," Mom said curtly. "Unlike you, she has responsibilities." I tried to sit up, but pain shot through my ribs. "Mom, please listen to me." She stood, tucking her phone away. "Save it for the cops. They're deciding whether to charge you for reckless driving and property damage." Tears burned behind my eyes. "It wasn't me. She switched cars with me that night. She said hers had a gas leak, remember?" Mom's mouth twisted into something between pity and disgust. "You'll say anything to drag your sister down with you. You always have." The door clicked behind her before I could answer. I stared at the ceiling for hours, every beep of the heart monitor pounding like guilt that didn't belong to me. When the nurse came in later, she looked sorry for me. "You've got visitors," she said quietly. It was Dad and Nora. Dad's expression was a mix of irritation and performative concern. Nora looked perfect as ever. Sleek ponytail, crisp white shirt, not a hair out of place. "How's the patient?" Dad asked like he was checking a broken appliance. "Hurts to breathe," I said. "Well, maybe next time you'll think before driving like a maniac," he said, shaking his head. "Dad, I didn't—" Nora stepped closer, resting her hand on the rail of my bed. Her nails were polished in soft pink, the color she always wore when she wanted to look innocent. "I'm just glad you're okay," she said sweetly. "I was so scared when Mom called. I told the police I forgive you, you know? I didn't want you to get in trouble." My jaw dropped. "You what?" Her eyes flicked up at me, a private warning behind the smile. Dad sighed. "See? She's being the bigger person, like always. Maybe you should learn something from her." I wanted to scream, to tear off the cast and show them the bruises from the seatbelt that didn't even match Nora's car. But I knew they wouldn't look. They never did. Because Nora was perfect. The golden one. The one who never raised her voice, never forgot a birthday, never got caught doing the things I got blamed for. When they finally left, I caught a glimpse of them through the window in the hallway. Mom laughing at something Nora said. Dad patting her back like she was the victim. Me? I was the burden who survived when I should have just stayed in the wreck. That night, the nurse helped me get my phone from my bag. It was smashed, but one notification still glowed on the cracked screen. A message from Nora, sent right before the crash. "Try not to ruin my car this time." My blood ran cold. The next day, an officer came to take my statement. He looked uncomfortable, glancing down at the clipboard. "Your family says you were driving your sister's car, but the ownership and GPS records show it was yours." "It wasn't," I said quickly. "She switched the keys." He hesitated. "Ma'am, your sister already gave her statement. She said you'd been drinking and took her car without permission." I slammed my hand against the bed rail. She's lying. Check the traffic cameras, please. He scribbled something on the page, voice low. I'll note it down. But I saw it in his eyes. He didn't believe me either. After he left, I stared at my reflection in the dark window. Pale, bandaged, alone. And somewhere in that silence, I realized what they'd done wasn't an accident at all. They hadn't just framed me. They'd buried me alive, with a smile, a story, and a clink of their glasses. And if the only way out was through fire, then I'd light the match myself. The next morning, the hospital discharged me early. I didn't have insurance that covered extended family drama. Mom picked me up. Not because she wanted to, because it would look bad if her injured daughter took the bus home. She didn't ask if I was in pain. She just said, "You'll pay for the damages when you get your next paycheck." My next paycheck? I whispered. Mom, I can barely walk. She didn't respond. The car ride was silent except for the radio, cheerful morning talk shows laughing about weekend news while my entire life was smoldering in the background. When we pulled into the driveway, Nora was already outside watering the plants. She waved like she was welcoming a guest. "Look who's back on her feet," she said brightly. Thank God it wasn't worse. Mom smiled at her, that warm, proud smile she never gave me. "You've been such a help, honey." I stepped out slowly, my cast heavy and awkward. My legs screamed with every step. Nora's eyes flicked down to it, then back up, and her smirk sharpened just enough for me to see it. Inside, Dad was at the table reading the morning paper. He looked up and said, "No cops, right?" I froze. "What?" He folded the paper carefully. "We don't need to drag this through the courts. It'll ruin Nora's life. She's got a future. Well, you've always been the one that bounces back." "I didn't do anything wrong," I said. My voice cracked, but I didn't care. He gave me a look that burned cold. "Don't play victim. You already embarrassed this family once. We're not doing that again." I glanced toward the kitchen. Mom poured coffee. Nora leaned against the counter, sipping hers, calm as a queen. It hit me right then. They'd rehearsed this. Every line, every justification, every twist of the knife. That night, while everyone slept, I limped out to the garage. The smell of oil and dust hit me. My car sat there, wrecked and crumpled like a reminder that I wasn't supposed to walk away. I stood there for a long time, staring at it. The broken headlights looked like eyes, hollow, blaming. Then I noticed something. The passenger seat. A faint shimmer, a phone charm, a tiny silver moon. Nora's. My heart pounded. I reached in, trembling, and picked it up. There it was, the proof she'd been in my car. Not me and hers. The next morning, I walked into the kitchen and dropped it on the table between her and Mom. She froze for half a second, then smiled. "Oh, I must have dropped that when you borrowed my purse last week." Mom gave me a look that said, "Drop it." I didn't. "You know what's funny?" I said, voice low. "The traffic camera near the gas station probably caught who was driving. I checked. The police are reviewing footage." For the first time, Nora's hand twitched. Mom's voice sharpened. "You didn't go to the police again, did you?" I met her eyes. "I didn't have to. The officer called me. Turns out the timestamps don't match your little story." Dad slammed his coffee cup down. "Enough! You're not dragging this family through dirt. Do you understand me?" Nora stood up, arms crossed. "Go ahead, call them. You think anyone will believe you over me? You're pathetic. You always have been." Mom stepped between us, her tone sharp as glass. "Don't call the cops. It'll ruin her life." I looked at her. The woman who taught me to apologize when others hurt me. The woman who told me silence keeps peace. The woman who never once asked what it was like to wake up covered in blood and blamed for someone else's sins. "You're right," I said finally, calm spreading through me like ice. "I won't call the cops." "Good." I leaned closer. "I'll ruin her life myself." Nora flinched, just barely. I smiled. "Don't worry, I won't lift a hand, I'll just tell the truth. They laughed then, all three of them, laughed like I'd told a joke. Go ahead, Dad said. You've cried wolf too many times, no one's going to listen. Mom clinked her glass against Nora's. To family, she said, smirking. Even when they're ungrateful. The sound echoed in my ears long after they left the room. That night, I couldn't sleep. The sound of the crash replayed in my head again and again. The screech, the impact, the silence. But this time, I wasn't the one trapped in it. I saw her, Nora, laughing behind the wheel, recording it, setting me up. I opened my laptop. If the police wouldn't believe me, maybe her friends would. Maybe her boss. Maybe her fiancé. The man she bragged was too rich to care about drama. I spent the next few days quietly gathering what I needed. Hospital reports, timestamps, GPS data from my car app, and every text message between us. The next part wasn't revenge. It was clarity. I started writing a statement. Not for the police, for the world. By the time I hit save, I didn't feel broken anymore. I felt dangerous. Because they'd made one mistake. They taught me how far people will go to protect their image. And I was about to make sure the image they worshipped shattered in front of everyone. The plan didn't need fire or shouting. It needed silence. The kind that makes people lean in to listen, before realizing they're hearing their own downfall. I started with small cracks. I emailed Nora's boss, anonymously, attaching a single photo. My wrecked car, her silver moon keychain glinting on the passenger seat. No explanation. Just a timestamp. The subject line read, "Is this who's representing your company?" 2 days later, Nora came home furious, slamming her phone on the counter. "Someone sent my boss a picture from your stupid accident. They think I was involved." I looked up from my tea. "Oh, that's awful." Her eyes narrowed. "You did this." "Did what?" I said softly. "You told everyone it was my fault, remember?" She stormed off, muttering that I'd regret it. But regret was already on my side. It had moved in with me long ago. The next part came easy. Mom's best friend, Evelyn, was planning her annual fundraiser, the one Mom loved to flaunt about attending. I sent Evelyn a message too. I told her to ask my mom why her perfect daughter was being investigated by her employer for falsifying statements. When I got home that evening, I heard them whispering in the living room. Mom hissed, "You need to fix this, Nora. Evelyn asked me what kind of family we are." Nora said, "Maybe if you hadn't coddled her, she wouldn't be doing this." Dad's voice cut through, low and angry. "Both of you, enough. We'll ride this out. She's not brave enough to actually expose us." He was wrong. The next morning, I walked into the dining room carrying a tray. Not food, envelopes, one for each of them. "What's this?" Mom asked suspiciously. I smiled. "Proof." They exchanged looks. I could feel their fear starting to breathe in the room. "You said I wouldn't call the cops," I said, "and you were right, I didn't." I slid my phone across the table. A video played, the dash cam footage from my car. You could see someone slipping into the driver's seat. Long hair, pink jacket. Not me, her. Nora's face drained of color. "That's edited," she whispered. "Is it?" I asked. "Because the same timestamp matches the GPS, the phone records, and the security cam from the gas station across the street." Dad stood up. "Turn that off." I leaned back. "You wanted silence, remember? Don't call the cops. It'll ruin her life." Mom's hands shook. "Where did you get this?" I tilted my head. The truth was always there. You just refused to look. Nora pushed her chair back. "So what now? You want me to go to jail?" "No," I said. "I want you to live with what you did." She looked confused, almost relieved, until I pulled out one last envelope. "This one isn't for you," I said. "It's for your fiancé." Her lips parted. "You wouldn't." "Oh, I would." Inside were printed copies of the same dash cam stills, the text messages, and the hospital report showing her car's seatbelt marks didn't match my injuries. I told him everything, I said. You didn't just frame me. You nearly killed me. He deserved to know who he's marrying. Her chair screeched backward as she stood, shouting, You ruined me! I met her eyes, calm and final. No, you did that the night you left me bleeding on the side of the road. She lunged like she might hit me. Dad caught her arm. Mom just sat there, breathing hard, eyes glassy but dry. Then the sound. A faint ding from my phone. One message. We're done. Eric. Nora's face crumpled. She grabbed her purse and bolted out the door without another word. Mom whispered, What did you do? I told the truth, I said simply. Dad's voice was sharp. You've destroyed this family. I turned to him. You think there was anything left to destroy? He looked at me then, really looked, maybe for the first time in years, and I saw something flicker behind his anger. Fear. I stood. You all taught me one thing. Family doesn't protect you. It buries you. So I dug myself out. Then I left. No shouting, no slammed doors. Just the sound of my cane tapping the floor with every step, a reminder of the accident that started it all. 3 months later, I got a letter. Nora had been fired. Her fiancé had moved overseas. Mom and Dad sold the house quietly and moved somewhere. No one knew them. I didn't reply. Instead, I bought a small apartment near the lake. I built my life, piece by piece, job by job. Sometimes, when I drive past a mirror on a quiet road, I still hear the echo of that crash. But it doesn't make me flinch anymore. It reminds me who survived. Because they clinked glasses while I sat numb. But now, every time I lift mine, it's to my own peace. To silence that finally belongs to me. To justice that never needed cops. Just truth. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.